Fiji lies in the center of the South Pacific Islands. The capital city, Suva, is home to several international institutions, including a university, a medical school, and a technical school. These schools attract the brightest students from throughout the South Pacific. About 500 Adventist students are enrolled at these schools, but until recently, there was no Adventist church nearby. No place where these young people could come to worship and bring their friends to fellowship or study in a welcoming atmosphere. For a while, the group rented a hall at the university, but the university needed all of its larger halls on Sabbath morning, leaving the Adventist students with no place to worship. Thanks to the 2006 13th Sabbath offering, funds for a new church were available, but church leaders weren't able to find anything suitable and affordable near the university. One evening, Mission Youth Chaplain Pastor Joe and other mission leaders met with Adventist student representatives on the university campus to choose a property. Although none of them were ideal, the group voted to purchase a steep block of land about 2 kilometers from the university. It was after 10 p.m. when everyone left. As a group of students walked along the street, a car stopped in front of them. A man jumped out, ran up to a fence surrounding a large house sitting on a prime piece of property, quickly posted a for sale sign, and left. We should tell our chaplain about this. The next morning, Pastor Joe's phone rang. He listened as an eager student described the property and its prime location. Thanking the student, Pastor Joe phoned the number on the sign. Right after the call, Pastor Joe went to see the property. It was perfect. Located just 2 blocks from the university and directly across the street from the largest cinema and shopping mall in Fiji. The pastor couldn't imagine a more visible and accessible location. He immediately called the real estate company and told them he wanted to buy the property. Pastor Joe met the man who hung up the sign and introduced himself as an Adventist chaplain. He told the man about his group's need for a permanent place to worship. As the pastor spoke, he noticed tears beginning to stream down the man's face. You know, as you were talking, I remembered the things I learned at the Suva Adventist Primary School. I remember the Bible stories and the singing. I'm going to call the owner of our company now. Before long, another man walked in, looked at Pastor Joe and exclaimed, "Oh, it's you! I know you! Some years ago, an Adventist girl I worked with invited me to come to church during a visitor's Sabbath. I came and you were the one speaking from the front." After some negotiating, Pastor Joe got the ideal property just 2 blocks from the university. The only problem now was that there was no church building on the property, just an old house. The group decided to build a new church building and replace the house. It took 8 months for the permits and permissions to start building, but the group finally got the approval. They chose an architectural plan featuring walls made of windows on either side of the new church. They used a lot of glass in the construction so that people coming out of the mall and cinema would see them worshiping. Today, more than 300 university students worship here. The church is within easy walking distance from campus and has become a gathering place for faith-building and outreach activities during the week as well as on Sabbaths. This transparent church truly shines as a bright light for all to see. Every weekend, people from all over the island come to sell food at Fiji's biggest market. Since they are traveling, they often have to sleep in the street with little food and water. They wait for the market to open so they can earn enough money to take back home. The youth group brings food to those who make the long trek into the city each weekend. People see them as a blessing and really appreciate all they do. The students have made friends with many of the traveling vendors. The youth are proud to serve the needs of others and to shine a bright light on the island of Fiji. Please pray for this group as they continue to be an influence on the community around them. Thank you for supporting the 2006 13th Sabbath offering.